Alright, so it seems like we're back. It seems like both players are ready. I actually don't know who the host of the lobby is. So, yeah, I guess we're just waiting on the host. It seems like. Oh shit, we're getting intros and shit? I didn't even know. This is how much I'm actually watching the stream. So what? So it seems our first map is Acid Plant. Acid Plant for TVT is... It's awkward in the sense that both players know that drop play will happen one way or another. However, trying to position yourself for the fights, it's a little also weird in Acid Plant because there's really only one good pathway to come in. That's coming in from through the middle expansion where there's chokes and stuff. But you know, we'll see what happens. Most likely there's going to be a lot of drop plays and bio tanks in a very slow paced game. And we're loading into the match. And we'll see how it goes. All right, here in the bottom right of the map, we have our orange Terran player playing for the team Psionic Aftermath. He is Terran Lord. How you like that for an intro? And in the top left at the 11 o'clock position, we have our red Terran player from the team All In. We have Lumia. Yay. So, this is going to be a interesting map. Both players pretty much basically mirroring each other with a little gas to barracks, which is very standard in TVT, to be honest. Terror Lord, however, getting this fast second gas tells me he's gonna do a 1-base 1-1-1, try to get fast banshees and try to do early game harassment while pretty much getting his natural a little later than Lumia. Lumia going for early second gas also, but Terran Lord did get that second gas a bit quicker and has been mining from it for a bit more. So his Banshee harassment, if he goes Banshees, which most likely he will go Banshees, will come out a lot sooner. Terran Lord being the bit defensive player, having his Reaper back into his main. And I don't think this is a wall. I think he fucked up his wall. And that is exactly what Terran Lord says. No matter, it is TVT. Walls don't really matter. Lumia's Reaper is coming out, going across the map. Again, like I said before, Terran Lord is being a little more defensive, having his Reapers at home, which gives him the advantage because by the time Lumia's Reaper comes to Terran Lord's base, Terran Lord will have 2 Reapers out and he can pick off the Reaper easily. However, Lumia decides that after checking the natural, he sees that there is no command center, that he assumes Terran Lord is going for the later command center, which he is doing right now. And he's gonna get the Reaper. He's gonna get the Reaper. Oh, come on, get the Reaper. It's literally one shot. Huh, well, just kidding. Reaper's a good unit, being able to run off and heal themselves up. Lumia going for Banshees as usual. However, Terran Lord is going for the drop Cyclones. This is getting fairly popular in I would say NA ladder, to be honest, in like the Diamond Masters League. I've been seeing this a lot. Double Cyclone drop has been getting fairly popular. Lumia kind of being greedy in my opinion, only really having a few units out and thinking he can defend whatever Channel Lord throw at. Channel Lord's dropship is being sent out, and his Reapers are in the front, making sure Lumia is still stuck in his base. Lumia is getting his second Cyclone, which should, excuse me, give him a bit of an edge when these two Cyclones come in for the drop. He is saving his Banshee at home just in case for any kind of shenanigans or extra DPS for base defense. And I believe Lumia just sent in his Reaper to check the scout and just got killed. Cyclones being dropped in the main, getting 5 SCVs, and he just picks up and runs. Ooh, Lock-on's gonna attach to these dropships. Will it get it though? Nope, dropship still lives. Cyclones are fighting Cyclones. Cyclones not getting the command center. Too bad, so sad. Which, however, 6 SCVs did die through that. So Terror Lord is up in SCVs. Although Lumia does have the command center on the bottom, being behind 6 SCVs is pretty harsh, to be honest. Terror Lord does have his command center almost completed though. The only thing for him, the only difference is he has to lift his to his natural to get it secure and be ready to mine. Terror Lord is starting his siege tank production, so we're just gonna see bio tank from Terror Lord. I really hope I'm getting the right people correct. I really don't know. But Terror Lord getting he's going for his bio tank, pretty standard in TVT. While Lumia is he's just been, his factory has just been neglected. All he's been making is Marines and 2 Vikings. Medevac just starting to finish up. It's a bit strange. He's focused on this harassment with his Banshees, but 2 Vikings will ward off these Banshees pretty easily. Lumia loving his Banshees. He can get that tank for free if he wanted to. Terror Lord does not have a scan, so this can be very troublesome for Terror Lord. He has to rely on missile turrets for detection, and it's allowing this command center to be vulnerable to these Banshees being shot. This one Banshee is still cloaked, however, and you can still do damage onto this command center if he feels like. Still no energy for Terror Lord, which makes this difficult for Terror Lord to defend. Oh, and the last Viking shot does get the Banshee, so that was pretty well done. Lumia pushing out with, or he was gonna push out with Cyclones and Marines, but he sees that, he senses that Terror Lord is pushing out also, so he retreats back home. And now Lumia starting his siege tank production and getting his Marine production started also. He's way behind compared to Terror Lord, where Terror Lord did have his productions all ready to go after his drops and whatnot, but this is going to be really hard for Lumia to defend. Lumia being a bit greedy, trying to get the third, but 3 siege tanks and a group of Marines at his front door pretty much is a bit scary for Lumia. Now we're going for that siege tank hop, and This is really tough for Lumia. Lumia can't really do much. His Marines are being sent in for free. Oh, he does pick off that siege thing. This is very nice. Terran Lord using his Vikings to pick off the Medivacs and the other Vikings, which are good. Terran Lord does have air dominance, so he is allowed for his siege tanks to move up if he can. Lumia's siege tanks pretty much at a good position, but this is now the line where neither of them can cross. Just kidding. They're crossing. They're crossing lines. Ooh, siege tank goes down. Terran Lord siege tanks all go down. This is very odd for Terran Lord. He has no siege tank support anymore. And his stint is about to finish, but not quite. So he has to go back home while Lumia does secure his third base. And Terran Lord still hasn't found out about it. If Lumia keeps this third base up and going, gets his SCVs over there, start mining, get his macro going, then Lumia will come out on top. It looks like Terran Lord's third is about 80% done. Starting to get some gases for his higher tech units. However, a second wave of reinforcements coming to help out for Terran Lord. I don't know if he knows about the third base. He hasn't scouted it, so most likely he's going to come up, try to go for the natural once again. And this push is a lot scarier for Lumia, so we'll see if he's going to be able to defend it now. Terran Lord does have stim. He sees the SCV going to the third, so he assumes that he's probably just trying to get expansion or not. And he sees that the command center is there, and he's going to pick it off most likely. Goodbye, command center. You had half energy. He had 50 energy. You could have sent a deal down at the natural, but your sacrifice was in vain. I don't think that's the right word, but now the siege tanks lines are being set up. Vikings for Vikings. Terran Lord does come out on top. He has more Vikings, but the siege tanks lines are what's important. Terran Lord sending a bit of a drop, trying to harass Lumia's mineral line and make sure Lumia. He wants to make Lumia split off his units so he can fight at a stronger front. Terran Lord's third is secure. All he has to do is mule that location and grab SCVs as much as possible. Lumia deciding to go for a 2 medevac drop, which is pretty smart. However, very risky since Terran Lord's army is literally parked right outside his natural. However, he does have a second set of units sitting at home, waiting for any kind of drop harassment to come in. And I'm pretty sure Lumia knows about it, and he should be worried. Vikings killing off Vikings. This is pretty much a hate crime. Just kidding, it's not. But having the air advantage as a Terran player is what is key. He is taking his 2 medevac drop, trying to do some damage. Getting 7 SCVs isn't too bad, but which actually puts them at even SCVs, not gonna lie. Both players have been slacking on SCV production, to be honest, and it's kind of hurting their economy. Especially Lumia. Lumia is on like 1.5 bases, and he's only at 37 SCVs. If Terran Lord was pumping out SCVs for like the longest while, he probably can catch up, get more production. But the fight's going on. Who's got more Marines is the question. Terran Lord picking up a tank, which is good, but Lumia does have the Marine numbers. Although he does have defender's advantage, Terran Lord does have somewhat the economy to keep constantly reinforce his units, so he should be in a good position to take fights. Lumia is trying to set up his tanks to make sure that he can spread his tank line out to hit the largest amount of area as he can. So one tank being picked off, which is pretty good for Terran Lord. Ooh, 2 medevacs going down. It's gonna make this push a little bit harder for Terran Lord. One of his medevacs literally is one shot and can get picked off by one Marine anytime of the day. So this is a little risky. Lumia is going for his 2 medevac drop again. He's being very risky with those drops. It's kind of making himself vulnerable, having less Marines at home against this push. If Terran Lord did scan this and see the Marine count that Lumia has, he can unsiege the siege stick and just rush in if he wanted to. I don't know what Lumia is waiting for. He should have taken this drop and went in sooner, in my opinion. And it seems like that's what Terran Lord is doing. The Terran Lord saw the amount of units Lumia had at his natural and decided to just rush in. Stim the Marines against SCVs is pretty much a massacre. And GG is called. Terran Lord takes game number 1. Oh, that was pretty much standard Terran versus Terran. Trying to get the right positions with your tanks and Marines, and trying to do multi-prong or harassment by sending out drops and trying to slow your opponent down by making them run back to their own base while you can take down another front and set up your positions in the map. But it seems like our next map is a biogenesis, it looks like. Fucking Lumia, the madman. Crazy guy over here wanting to go for biogenesis. I am sensing some kind of proxy barracks, maybe T-Rex Marine pushes, or maybe proxy Reapers. So it's gonna be an absolute shit show from what it seems like. Or hell, fucking, there might be fucking mass cyclones coming out everywhere. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Looks like we're going into the game. Biogenesis. Terran Lord versus Lumia. It's funny because Terran Lord is still diamond in this account, but I assume in like Europe he's masters. But here in the top left position of a biogenesis, we have our red Terran player playing for Team Allen. It is Lumia. Then in the bottom right, we have the orange Terran player who is up 1-0 for playing for Psystorm Aftermath. It is Terran Lord. Oh, is it Psionic Aftermath? Not Psystorm? Okay. Whoops. I think I said Psystorm Aftermath last game too. Or Psystorm Aftermath. Oh, fucking me. Yo, KJ, hit me up. Ooh, early second gas for Lumia. That is super quick. Uh-oh. Looks like we're gonna have some fun shenanigans coming on. Having that faster second gas is gonna put Lumia in a bit of a gas advantage compared to Terran Lord. And Terran Lord is also getting his second gas, so this is gonna be a very interesting fight. It's gonna probably most likely be one base versus one base for a good few minutes, and then someone's gonna like try to expand and get fucked pretty much. Ooh, Terran Lord hiding his factory compared to Lumia, where Lumia puts his factory pretty much at the wall. The reactor's going down for the factory, I assume. So maybe fast cyclones might be the play here. Actually, Lumia did skip his Reaper. Oh, so this is a straight reactor. No Reaper into reactor to a straight reactor. And Terran Lord getting his 2 Reapers as standard, being defensive them, keeping them at his base. I'm not crazy, right? Lumia didn't make. Yeah, Lumia did not make. He did not make a Reaper at all. He's sending his barracks out to I want to say give vision. This is a double cyclone barracks, using barracks as vision type of build, and I'm gonna say, if this pulls out, I'm stealing this build. I'm gonna straight up steal this build. I don't give a fuck. It seems pretty all in, to be honest. You know, represented the clan, Lumia. There you go. Terran Lord sending out his Reapers, but he's gonna be surprised when he sees the barracks fucking flying at him. He's like, what the shit, dog? What is that? But both players just oh, he saw the barracks and he's like, wait, what? And Cyclone's killing off the Reapers. Easy peasy. Now it's gonna be 2 Reapers versus 2 Cyclones versus 2 Cyclones. Pretty even fight, to be honest. But Lumia does have Cyclones coming out. He's gonna use the barracks as vision so he can snipe down supply depots to essentially let himself walk through into the base without having to take any kind of damage from the Cyclones of Terran Lord. Terran Lord using the lock-on, which gives Lumia the option to attack the Cyclones if he wants. Pretty much a retarded magnet, if I have to say so myself. Lumia's working on these barracks. Barracks almost went down, but not quite. Terran Lord did get a Liberator, but now he is supply blocked heavily, and this might affect him in being able to defend this. However, you know, 4 Cyclones against 2 Cyclones are pretty good. However, 2 Cyclones won't be able to shoot because of the pathing, and that other Cyclone, nope, hasn't died just yet. So it's 2 Cyclones versus 1 Cyclone now, and this is some cheekiness, but that 1 Cyclone goes down. Lumia still is up in Cyclones, but Liberator, good unit, shooting off the Cyclone pretty well. Lumia is still off on 1 base, getting his command center just now, still continuously pumping out Cyclones as much as he can, using the lock-on ability on the Liberator, trying to take it down as much as he can. Terran Lord trying to get Liberators, thinking Liberators will essentially be the answer to his Cyclone problem, but does not seem like it's gonna work out. Lumia he can literally just target the command center and he'll be good, but targeting, pretty much moving into Terran Lord's space, getting supply depots, pretty much supply blocking Lumia, or Terran Lord fairly heavily. Jesus Christ, that's all of Terran Lord's supply depots, and more Cyclones are here. Lock on the Liberator, GG is called, and Lumia takes game 2 in a pretty convincing fashion, honestly. That was a very, very fun match. Pretty fast, like I said, some kind of cheeky build was bound to happen. But it seems like our next map will be Catalyst, as Terran Lord requests. I like how both players' of average unspent unit is pretty similar, only 4 resources off. And that 4 resources was probably because Terran Lord was supply blocked. So so again, our next map will be Catalyst, and this is the final match in the best of 3. The winner goes to the semis where they will face Emin. And then next stop will be the finals. Now we're just waiting on the players. We're discussing team colors. We're bitching that the colors are too similar. Red and orange, you know? It's good shit. Seems like both players are ready. Looks like we'll be heading into the match. Map starting up. I'll see you in a bit. Cue map intro. In the bottom right corner of the map, at the 5 o'clock position, we have the orange Terran player playing for Psionic Aftermath. His name is Terran Lord. And in the top left corner, at the 11 o'clock position, we have our purple Terran player playing for All In. He is Lumia. Both players playing standard. That last match was pretty G, if I have to say so myself. Lumia pulling out a good old cheesy kind of play, a very map specific play, if I have to say so myself, going for that fast cyclone with the lifted barracks, which was pretty juicy. Both players getting gas. Terralo getting gas a little bit quicker this time than Lumia, but not so much different where it will cause a significant difference. But it seems like this will pretty much turn out to a very normal TBT, where it's most likely going to bio tanks versus bio tanks, etc., etc. The players going for their Reapers. Terran Lord most likely going for defensive Reapers, while Lumia is going for a more aggressive kind of scouting Reaper. Factories going down generally at the same time. And both builds are pretty much mirrored. Terran Lord is more going for a safer style where he doesn't want his bases being scouted, so he's putting his factory at the Reaper jump point to kind of block that location, and he's having his Reapers in a defensive position just in case any Reaper decides to try to jump up. You can pick it off pretty easily. Lumia, however, is going for a more like standard-ish style where his buildings are close together, so he can just swap add-ons whenever he can, checking for any proxies, hence why he scouted at the 3rd location, making sure there aren't any crazy shenanigans going on, which he sees. Both players are scouting pretty much like the same path, making sure that there are no scouting or proxy shenanigans going on. Terran Lord does, however, have his one of his Reapers at home still to make sure he's not going to get scouted, while Lumia has both Reapers and a Cyclone kind of like at the edge of his side of the map, making sure, seeing if there's anything that's going to come up. Seems like this Reaper wants to come up to take a peeky peek, and Reaper versus Reaper fights. Oh, one shot, and the Reaper goes down. So Terran Lord is down to Reaper, which puts him at a slight disadvantage, but not too much. Just some denial of scouting. Lumia going for a standard Banshee with a cloak. Pretty standard for him. Terran Lord going in for the scout with his Reaper, sees what's going on. Not yet, actually. He hasn't even gone to the right of Lumia's base to check for anything. Lumia's out on the middle of the map with his Hellions, Reapers, and Cyclones. Look for anything, but he's gonna be spotting 2 Cyclones, and he has to back out. Ooh, not even losing a Reaper. Terror Lord is doing some damage with his Reaper, getting 4 SCVs. 5 SCVs, actually. Wow. Lumia's kind of falling apart for some odd reason. He's not even sending his SCVs back until just now. I think he was too focused on micro. I think he sent his Reapers in. Oh no, just kidding. All his units came back home to defend for whatever is coming. Terror Lord doing his classic double Cyclone drop, which most likely will probably do more damage than it should against Lumia. Lumia is more focused in the front, making sure nothing's gonna come up that way. Don't see his Banshee, but 2 Cyclone drop is dropped in the middle line. It's taking out a good amount of SCVs. And ooh, that was a good pick off. Getting the Cyclone and the Medevac, that was pretty good. Lumia's Banshee is going to get this Tech Lab. There you go. And that denies Siege Tank productions for another few seconds. Trying to kill off this tank so he can reset Terror Lord's tank count. But doesn't seem like it's gonna happen just yet. Terror Lord does have his second command center up. He's coming in orbital and starting to grab his production buildings. Lumia is going out for a bit of a push, which is interesting against a siege tank. Well, he kills it off really quick, so that's a good thing. It's gonna break in through these supply depots. Terror Lord has got to pull his SCVs, try to do whatever damage he can. 6 SCVs, 7 SCVs. Oh man, more SCVs going down. 10 SCVs going down in total, which puts them at an even SCV count. And they both have 2 command centers, so this has become pretty even fight, even match actually. Army wise, Terror Lord does have more. The Liberator and the Viking does help. He has a lot more Marines. Does this quick scan, see there's nothing natural, and he feels like he can push out and do damage. No tech lab for his barracks, so no stim or any kind of upgrades coming in just yet. Just pure Marines and Vikings apparently. Lumia is trying to catch up. All he has is 2 Cyclones and 1 Marine, which is gonna make this fight a lot more difficult than it should be. Liberator Zone goes up. It's gonna start zapping Cyclones left and right. Takes 1 shot. Cyclones at half HP. This is a bit scary for Lumia. He has to get his siege tank sieged up just real quick and kind of position it better so he can start hitting the Marines with it. And that's what he wants. Get those Marines shot by those siege tanks. Terror Lord is trying to get this command center down, but doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. Reinforcements are coming in for Terror Lord, and so his push is gonna keep going. Oh, Liberator's gonna take out the siege tank. Liberator takes out the siege tanks. Cyclone takes out the Liberator. It has become even, although Lumia does have another siege tank up. Terror Lord can literally just run in and try to pick off that siege tank if he wanted to, but decides not to, decides to back off. Both players are trying to get their productions going, get their economy going back up, but Terror Lord really wants to keep up this pressure. He's not really doing anything to stop the economy of Lumia. He's just more outside of Lumia's base, trying to keep him contained. although he does have the air superiority, so his siege tanks have more vision. It's not really much. 2 Vikings isn't too great, to be honest. Well, there's another Viking again. But the Terran Lord is just rallying all his units to this area in front of Lumia's natural. And if Lumia does get his productions going up, and he can break out of his containment, then he'll be in a pretty good spot. However, Terran Lord being smart, grabbing this command center because he knows he has the pressure on, picks off a tank, which is pretty nice. Well, there goes Lumia's Vikings. So air dominance is back on to Terran Lord. That was a bit of a mistake I would say, landing his Vikings on top of the tanks trying to kill it. Would rather have those Vikings most likely probably kill off the medevacs would be a better option. Keep the air dominance, win the game. That's not a saying. It should be. So Lumia now has reactor starport, so his Vikings are going to be coming in numbers of 2. However, Lumia's just bleeding out Marines, and he's just letting his units die out for free. I don't know where this this Perix rally is going, but these tanks are just picking off these Marines left and right. Which, without the air dominance, Terran Lord has to pick up and go back home, which he does. Is a very smart move. And now Lumia, if he didn't lose those Marines, in my opinion, I feel like he'd be in a lot stronger position. Both players are getting stim now. 11-minute stim, pretty good, pretty standard, to be honest. Terran Lord should have been lifting this command center to his 3rd, but it, too much micro gets into your head, and so you gotta take it slow a bit. Lumia's debating whether or not he wants to push out, try to do some damage. Seems like he's gonna go around this pathway to try to hit the 3rd. He's assuming that Terran Lord has a 3rd ready to go. Terran Lord scans the natural choke to see if there's an army. It seems like there isn't, but he scans over here, sees Lumia moving back home and Lumia's being scared, thinking that there might be an attack coming. Lumia getting his 3rd command center just now, which isn't too bad. He's still behind, but it's not so bad anymore. Lumia is ahead in supply or in worker count, not too much, but enough where he can get a bit of an economical lead. However, Terran Lord is the one who has had his natural for a bit longer, so he's been getting that money. Now his 3rd is up, and he can just mule the shit out of these mineral lines whenever he feels like. Terran Lord scanning the middle of the map, sees that Lumia's army is out here. He's sieging up his units. Lumia does scan, sees that there are 3 tanks and a bigger file there, so he feels that he shouldn't go in. Although he does, runs into siege tank fire, tries to split up his units, but Terran Lord with the air dominance once again and the Marine count clears this up, sends Lumia packing home. Lumia has reset his siege tank count. He only has 1 siege tank compared to Terran Lord's 3, although Terran Lord isn't taking all of the siege tanks, which is pretty smart. Anything can happen, but decides to unsiege, pick up, and take his siege tanks with him. Going to the middle of the map, here comes the stim from both players. Terran Lord with the Marine numbers. Nope, just kidding. Defender's advantage is pretty good, and pushing Terran Lord's army back. Lumia is still in the fight. If he runs into the tank line, he's not going to be anymore, and that's exactly what he does. Loses a good amount of Marines for no apparent reason. Shouldn't have ran out to the middle of the map. feel like that was a bit of a miscontrol, in my opinion. Both players, gearing up for the mid-late game now, trying to get their economy back up. Game's been intense, to be honest, pretty back and forth. Where it's so back and forth that both our players are making a bit of macro mistakes, where they're not getting their gases or whatnot. Can't blame them. There's pressures going on. We got a good crowd today, but what can you do? Scans coming in left and right. Terrorlord with more scans, making sure Lumia isn't doing anything funny. Keep scanning the natural choke. Make sure he knows how many Marines are pretty much there or whatnot. Terrorlord, Lumia does have the upgrade advantage though. He has 1-1, and he should be using that to its full potential, because Terrorlord is going to be catching up, and he's already getting +2 attack. Lumia starving on gas is a problem, and he hasn't been able to get his upgrades and gas heavy units like siege tanks, Vikings, and drop ships or medevacs. So it's really hurting him in the army side. Terrorlord does still have a bit of air dominance, although it can be taken by either player pretty easily. Terrorlord starting to go for drop plays, scans the main, just checks to see if there's anything there. And Lumia, seeing the scan, thinks that something cheeky is going to be on its way, so he's preparing himself over there. Liberator starting to come out for Terrorlord. He wants that air dominance so he can push back siege tanks as quickly as he can. And Lumia getting his 4th command center. Very good. He knows he's a bit behind, so he needs that command center to get another expansion as soon as possible. Terrorlord deciding that he should start pushing out. It's a cute line there. Tic-tac-toe. That's not tic-tac-toe. Whatever. Probably keeping these units here just so whenever he does his engagement, he can have his units run in and fight also from a flank. 6 Marines isn't really going to do much, but we'll see. Terrorlord is trying to position himself in a better position. Lumia scans, does see the army, and a bit of a firefight. It's gonna break out. Ooh. Viking goes down. Marines are fighting Marines. Terrorlord does lose a few Marines for no reason, which is unfortunate. Lumia again with a 2 medevac drop, sending another medevac over. That's a bit of a mistake. Checking to see what's here. And good pick off on the Vikings, getting a bit of air dominance for Lumia. The fight is breaking out. Siege tanks shooting Marines, Marines fighting Marines. Lumia does have the Marine number, and it is scary. However, Terrorlord does have the tank numbers. If you had Liberators, you could use them to siege. Lumia's coming in with his 2 medevac drop, trying to kill off some Marines. Vikings go down, but +2 attack is really good and pushes this drop back from where it came from. Lumia does have a good sized army, to be honest. He has them split though, that's the problem. He has an army over here and he has another army over here. He is lacking in the medevac production, so a lot of his Marines are really hurt from stimming and whatnot. So he has to be careful that he knows his Marines are vulnerable, and he's got to be careful of that. Terrorlord landing his 4th command center. Gonna get that sweet mineral income. And Terrorlord sending his units over to Lumia's fort, trying to fight it if he can. However, Lumia knows that there's a force coming, so he decides to defend. He's wanting to push out, but I think he's worried about this force over here, which if he scans, it shouldn't be too. You should see that it's not too bad. It's only a few tanks and a few marines and a lot of medevacs. This is the force that Lumia should be worried about. Although his army is a good size and a bit bigger, to be honest, he has the marine count, and that's what's important, is having the marine count. His upgrades are a bit lacking, to be honest, but it's not bad. He does have the medevac count also, so he's able to push in, clean up all these siege tanks, clean up the marines, and he probably will take down this command center and this command center too if he's keeping at it. Terror Lord decides to unsiege over here and lose his position. Probably thinking about coming back home to defend if necessary. And it seems like Terror Lord losing another command center for free. That's unfortunate. Oh. Terror Lord going for a drop with tanks and marines, but that gets deflected by Lumia's marines pretty easily. And Lumia upping his supply now, and GG is called. And Lumia takes game 3. That was you can call that a comeback if I have to say so myself. Terror Lord was looking really good in that game, but one of his biggest mistakes and what kind of threw him off was that I think he missed a production cycle, and it affected him a bit, and he didn't really split his units up well enough. I think he also misjudged what the army he was in a stalemate fight with at Lumia's third, and so when he saw Lumia's larger army coming in for Terran Lord's third, it kind of threw him off, and he didn't have enough tanks to defend that. He had the Vikings, sure, but if you lose the Marines on the ground, then your Vikings kind of just they become free targets for your opponent's Marines. So that's what has happened. Seems like Vincis has won over XPA in the semis over 2-0. So Vincis is our first finalist. And so our next game, I guess, to be casted will be Lumia versus Emin. And it is going to be TVT? I assume? I think? I'm gonna check this guy's profile. Yep, it's gonna be a TVT. This is gonna be fun. It's like the TVT did. It's gonna be a day of TVTs. Alright, it looks like Lumia is gonna take a bit of a minute break before we get into game. So if you guys like what you see with my sexy deep voice, you guys should follow the CranKy Ducklings here on Twitch. We do weeklies, and I believe that the Master Swan Open is gonna be a monthly if we're really gonna commit to this. So Master Swans are gonna be monthlies. Sea Duckling Opens are weeklies. And if you guys want to see diamond and below players duke it out and look like fools, come watch the Sea Duckling Opens. And if you want to watch Master and below players duke it out and look like fools, come to the monthlies at the Master Swans Opens. You should also join our Discord channel. Link is in the Nightbot and descriptions in the panels below, where we announce when the Duckling Opens or Swan Opens happen, and other amateur tournaments that are going around, such as JSL, VSL, Scion, Proxy Tempest, etc., etc. You should also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/crankducklings, and you can look at funny duck gifs that our team provides.